when you suddenly, and there's no timeline on when this happens, the shift happens and you become acutely aware of your body in space. I believe it's called proprioception is like the technical term for it. And you start realizing like, okay, when I move this way, this exact muscle is activating and this other muscle is resting. And when you start to learn yourself on that level, it unlocks everything else. So that when you go out there and you leave that fucking yoga studio that you pay to come to, like you suddenly realize like when I say this in this way, it creates a response like this. So how can I shift the way I'm speaking to people so that I am understood?
Welcome to Black Belt Beauty Radio, a podcast fueled by a passion to support your journey in developing your most beautiful and optimal performance in life. Each episode is driven with the intention to elevate your mind. When we elevate our mind, we elevate our life. So get ready. It's time to rise.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Black Belt Beauty Radio. I've got a delicious conversation to share with all of you today. I am so psyched to hit play on this talk with my girl, Tracy Lynn. Man, Tracy is someone who you just can't put in a box. And when you think you know her, you probably are off because she's someone who blurs the lines of light and dark, which is my absolute favorite. And I'll explain what that really means to me, why I really value that. But first, let me tell you, so by profession, she is a yoga instructor. She's a movement specialist. She's a performer, a very beautiful dancer, very unique as well. And really just an artist by way of life. She's a very inspiring story because she had some major uphill battles with addiction and abuse, in her earlier, like in her teenage years and early 20s, but she kicked those challenges in the ass and got very rooted in herself. She discovered her love and deep passion for yoga, but really what yoga can offer others and how she's able to guide others to become more rooted in themselves through the beautiful art form and movement of yoga. So, that's really broad strokes. There's so much more that goes into it, but this whole concept of like light and dark and why I really love that someone like Tracy blurs the line is because when I think of light and dark, by no means do I think of good or bad, right? I think of nature. We have the moon and we have the sun, and you can't dismiss one with, they go hand in hand. And so, I believe that we all have a kind of light and dark side of us. And when we are able to embrace and honor with reverence both sides, I really think that it's, not only healthy, but it offers so much more wealth to our journey, to our existence. It's very empowering. And I'm someone who loves to blur that line as well. And, we all do it in unique ways for those of us who are living that, dance on that line and like Tracy is. And so I'm so excited to share her with you because she's just unique, straight up. She's unique. Like I said, can't put this woman in a box. Her energy is incredible, you guys. I mean, she's not just my favorite yoga instructor, 19 years later because of the way that she's able to move me and really everyone who is doing yoga with her, all of her students, but because of the energy that she infuses throughout the process. It's beautiful. It's funny. It's provocative. It's Tracy. It's Tracy. And that's all I'm going to say now. I'm going to hit play and let you take in this incredible energy. I have no doubt that when you listen to our conversation, you're going to want to follow her. And if you live within Southern California, you're going to want to come and take her classes. You will soon become addicted. It just happens to all of us. So you guys, please enjoy my beautiful friend, artist by way of life, Tracy Lynn. Tracy, my love.
Hi, Roxanne. It's only natural that we start with a cackle.
Dude, everyone who's been listening to this podcast already is so used to my cackles at this point. But when I look at you, that's what happens. I'm just happy because I love you. Girl, what's up? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Here we are.
Welcome to 2019.
I mean, it's so far, how's it going for you?
Incredible.
It feels really good.
Yeah. As if I have taken off an old jacket that I didn't want anymore.
Really?
Yeah, that's how it feels.
That's a great way to put it. Actually, I relate to that. Wait, tell me about it.
I just feel like I'm coming into things that I wished and hoped for myself would unfold. And I knew they would unfold. I just didn't think it would unfold so quickly.
Really?
But am I surprised? The universe always takes care of me, so here I am.
Yeah, because so you're a very good manifester. Is it safe to say?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
If anything, people that want to manifest things like hang close to me, or talk to me about it, or they discuss weird dreams that they've had, and it's a thing.
You're the easiest person to talk to, and I'm sure I am not the first or even the 100th person who's fucking said that to you. It's like, it's amazing, actually. I love it. I'm so grateful. I felt that immediately with you. I know that I tend to be someone that's easy to talk to, but like, I feel like it's not even that you're easy to talk to, it's that the range of topics at which people can talk to you about, I feel is so broad, you know?
Oh yeah. Strangers open up to me all the time.
Yeah.
Everywhere that I go. My boyfriend laughs about it all the time. So they'll be like, well, they just really jumped into it with you, didn't they? And I'm like, yeah, I know that person's whole life story. I gave them a few
good feeling.
A few pointers, I guess, if they were asking for that.
I love it. That to me is like, you're a true light, you know? Do you ever have to be careful of that, actually? You know, like people because you're such a light that people gravitate to you and yeah.
There's a woman that I used to see all the time. I miss her a lot, but she is she's Persian and she reads people's coffee grounds.
Oh yeah.
And I used to go see her up in, she's up in like North LA, way up there. And I would go see her once a month, sometimes 2 times a month. And she told me once, she's like, I've never met somebody that is such a pure white light.
Wow.
And I've never forgotten that because that was such a...
Yeah, that's an outstanding statement.
It's definitely an outstanding... And she sees so many people that I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And also because so much of my life is this kind of wild, dark aesthetic, but I know I have this kind of clear bell inside of me that I always try to keep ringing. So
so we're gonna dive deep into what you just said. That's like you are such the beauty of a yin and yang to me. I used to say yin and yang, but I don't know. I've been on the yang program.
We've been like yanging.
It's actually, I guess that's like the correct way to say it, but one thing that before we go there, because I'm so excited to get into that, can you, it's kind of, I feel like it's going to be challenging because I don't even know how to do this.
Okay.
If somebody was to say, like, what do you do for a living, right? Like, what do you say? How do you put it into words?
That's excellent. I practiced that for a couple of years on a Tinder profile.
That's amazing. That's so good.
And I narrowed it down to this phrase, which had really great responses, not just on that, but I mean, on my social media, everything, I move bodies and I make loud sounds. That's like, I mean, if you wanted to encompass everything and kind of put it in a box, which I know you don't like people you can put in boxes, but if we can unbox that throughout this entire podcast. But yeah, I love to move bodies, both mine and others. And I just like to be loud about it. I like to be extreme. I like to be out there. I like to be big. I like to be small. I like to be everything. And that's as a yoga teacher, as a dancer performer, as a person that helps and works with people in mental health, because I think mental health issues make people small.
Yeah, sure.
So I like to invite people to get big.
I love that.
And get loud.
That's perfect.
Yes.
No, it's so good. And it's so true. I went through when you're saying all that right now, I'm literally going through my mind yoga classes with you. You do more than yoga, and I'm thinking about you on stage and how you perform and just how you kind of walk around the earth as a being. I mean, I'm fortunate to know you as a fucking darling friend of mine. So I can, everything that you just said, I'm like, yep, exactly. Well, that was epic. Okay, so I think where I want to start, just to give a little backstory, and then I want to pull us into the beauty of nowness with you. Mm-hmm. But I do want to give our audience a little bit about your childhood and certain struggles that you experienced and how you maneuver through them, because I feel like it's such an inspiring story, probably relatable to a lot of people.
Oh, absolutely. The more I share it, the more I realize that people sometimes really need to hear things like that.
Yes.
That's one of my things, I think, when I look at people that are, I don't want to say on a pedestal, I'll just say people that are in a public eye, per se. There's almost this kind of fantasy purity about them, or this elevation that seems unattainable. And to me, when I hear real life stories about people, it brings them more down onto this human level, which makes people relatable and which makes me comfortable to open up to them. And since I'm in the business of wanting to open up people, then why would I elevate myself above them? Right. That would completely defeat my purpose of really seeing people and in that heart space and like listening to people and have people trust, because it's kind of, I mean, I'll jump into it when we get into the story, but if you've experienced something in your life, it's really hard to tell somebody that has no idea what the fuck that is and feel like they understand where you're coming from.
Sure.
People like relatability. People like similarity.
Yeah.
We're pack animals. I know there's a lot of people that deny it and they're like, I'm better off on my own. But this is a survival thing that we do. We run with like-minded individuals and we seek companionship.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. And I also think that in another way, it's like when people get to hear what you're about to share, stories are just not necessarily specific only to yours, obviously, but just even someone who's maneuvering through fear, like, oh, I don't want to start, I'm afraid to start this business, but I'm going to do it. And it makes people feel like they also have permission to do it as well. So somebody who's in similar scenarios, maybe as where you were in your childhood and like younger years and what you had to, maybe, by hearing your stories and how you maneuver through it, it's like, well, maybe I can do that too. Maybe I can approach it this way. So, yeah. It's like permission.
Absolutely. So permission granted, I guess, right now. I mean, so many things that, and this story is just going to run along the lines of things that so many people have gone through. So what's really cool now, there's this whole revolution going on of people being very upfront with mental illness. And for me, from a very young age, and listen, I came from a fantastic household. My dad was working a lot and wasn't always present, but it's not like there was like, I grew up in a crack house. It wasn't like that. If anything, I lived a very kind of middle of the line, blue collar family. But at some point things were different and it just felt like there was very large pieces that I was missing developmentally, spiritually, that I made up for in the form of drug addiction, in the form of eating disorders, in the form of self-harm. And it took a lot of years of that all kind of happening, corresponding with each other, working in concert with each other before it really knocked me down on my ass. And there was this kind of underlying current of sexual abuse going on. Not necessarily in my family. There was somebody that was technically in my family where there was a lot of an exchange that really set the tone for the way I viewed female to male relationships and roles that has taken now, just in this, I mean, there's a lot of people that go through anonymity with this, but in December, I just took 12 years clean and sober.
Amazing.
So I've had that. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a big deal.
I wouldn't have what I had today unless I went through all of that shit and then went through those initial years of like, okay, now I have to relearn how to human and just learn in general. And I was very young. I was 17 years old when I just like dropped it and was like, okay, like this is not working because I want to die.
Right.
And it's like, it's just been so incredible. I wish I could really neatly package it, but every time I try to do this and I'm asked to like go share my story in front of a lot of people or speak or whatever, it always kind of comes out a little bit differently each time, I guess, depending on where I'm at. But there's this fantastic book that I just recently found under my bed covered in cat hair that I was like, I've been looking for this. And it's called The Body Keeps the Score. And it's this amazing book about body and trauma and healing and how essential it is for people that have experienced trauma, whether that's post-traumatic stress disorder, whether that is sexual trauma, how important it is to realize that the body has to be healed in addition to the mind.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, it's one thing. Everyone who listens to this podcast hears me say it all the time. We are a system of systems, and I think the sooner we come to respect that, the sooner we can be living from, our most kind of optimal state, right?
Yeah.
It's a separation that usually, it doesn't work because it's not real. Like, everything is everything connected. So, yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine. And I think one thing that will kind of tie all of this together in terms of like what I do now and how all of that came together is in that book, there's an entire chapter dedicated to yoga and the effects on people that have trauma.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, an entire chapter dedicated.
Okay.
The parasympathetic nervous system, how people that are victims of rape react to 12 weeks of consistent yoga, how they're able to reconnect bodily in a way where that has been shut down for years, where they have been absolutely paralyzed. It's incredible.
Did you read this book back then? And then
I actually, I can't remember how I was suggested this book. I think it was a friend of mine that's a dancer posted about it or had a story about it, and the title intrigued me. The what she explained to me about it, I was like, okay, I have to have this book. So it was like in my Amazon Prime basket like that next second, and I cracked it open and was like, oh my God, all of this information I think everybody should know, because I think everybody, whether you know it or not, are in relationships or have come into contact with people that have experienced something traumatic.
Sure. Yeah. Life. Yeah. It could be family or absolutely. There's always, I can't imagine any human being not experiencing some level of trauma, even if it's you were bullied in school or, you know, it's going to vary. But I do believe that the body holds on
100%. Yeah.
Wait, so when you were in that, we'll go to the turning point. You obviously spent several years not doing well, and then at 17 you decided, right?
Yeah.
I want to pick at that for 1 second. What was it? Just you bottomed out and you were like, this no more? Or what triggered the decision? Because there's so much power in decision, right? What triggered the decision?
I came to a fork in the road where I didn't want to do what I was doing, which was completely drowning myself in chemicals every day, which ultimately always led me to places and spaces and people that were going to kill me.
Yeah.
Or at least dim my light in some way. That was just where it led me to every time. Yeah. And then the other option was take the complete antithesis of that, which terrified me. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to go find a cliff in Palos Verdes to drive my car off of. Yeah. So my first day, I'm laughing about it now because this is just what I do. I'm driving around PV. Of course, it's beautiful. This is where I didn't grow up in PV, but I grew up very close. So it's like the beaches, the cliffs, the everything. And I'm driving around and I'm like, I can't even do that. So what's my option?
Wow.
I guess I'm just going to choose life. So I went to my dad's work. I gave him my car keys and I'm like, things need to change. And this is how it's kind of starting.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I'm like, you need to take these keys. I'm done. It was basically just like
Surrender.
A white flag, a surrender fully and completely, which is, if anything, in any type of life change, first has to come surrender.
Absolutely.
100% every time with everything, subtle things, big things.
I literally write those words in my journal if I open that journal right now, I assume every single day.
Surrender.
Yeah, I surrender. And this is someone who, I have vision, I have goals, I have all these things, but I know that the ultimate pathway, the ultimate way for me to actualize, to get to these sweet spots that I envision for my life is with no resistance.
Yeah.
And surrender is the key that turns that door, right?
Yeah.
Same but different, but you know what I mean? Like
I consider surrender an action word 100%.
Totally. Perfect way to put it.
And we've talked about this before when we interact with people, your clients, my clients, and when there's a tone of have to or want to.
Yes.
And before any of a have to or want to has to happen, you have to be ready to change.
Totally. You do. That's why I said, I wanted to pick on the decision part because if it's just like I want, well, okay, want is not even good enough. There needs to be a decision, and then I think that step is that follows it is I'm letting go so that I can take this path and I can do what is necessary.
100%.
So Dad, here's my keys.
Yeah, and then it kind of evolved into this just everything has to change, which it did, and it was fantastic the way it all went down. And then say a year into that change process, yes, all of the stuff was gone, but there was still a sense of self-harm in the way where I was not feeling my body correctly. I was not moving my body, and I just felt completely stuck in myself.
Okay.
So the Band-Aids have been ripped off, but the wound was still pussy. Yeah. So okay, there's still some shit going on here, which I think is always kind of the crux of the problem for a lot of people, why they don't stick to say, and I hate the word resolution, but change doesn't manifest permanently is because they're just looking at the surface shit.
Totally.
They're not going subcutaneous and seeing why they have these habits in place. Where did they even learn that from? Which is always family. But yeah, so it came down to these big changes that I had to make. And I was like, okay. And one of those big changes that I did is, okay, I need to move my body because I grew up as a competitive athlete. My parents were world-class swimmers and they threw me into a pool before I even could speak probably. And I competed and I did very well. But all of that was kind of happening in the midst of this yes, I'm a really fast butterfly sprinter, but I also love doing drugs. So
oh my goodness. That's so... Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's all that intermix. I mean, there's so many incredible stories of things like that going on. One of my good friends, Suzy Hamilton, her book, I was finished and started that book almost within the same day.
Do you know what it's called?
It's called Fast Girl.
Fast Girl, yeah. You just said that. Okay,
it's
perfect.
so good. But she was an Olympic runner.
I saw that.
Oh,
she's so dope.
She's so rad.
I was a runner as a young girl, so that,
Yeah,
I had the whole, I'm going to the Olympics, that whole thing, and everything changed after surfing. But, that's amazing.
Yeah, you need to bring her on here.
I will.
Ugh. Her story is mind-blowing.
Yeah?
Mind-blowing.
So where did Suzy just come in?
So just kind of talking about that whole parallel between there's all of this potential kind of at your feet, but there's these other factors happening that are just pulling you away from it ultimately. So yeah, about a year into this whole, okay, like I'm not going to get high and I'm not going to drink and I'm going to try to really like live this life. And I was like, I've heard yoga is good for you. And so I signed up for a yoga class, and it was more of like a yoga semester. It was like you had to commit to this like 15 weeks of going 3 times a week for like 2 hours.
That's cool.
Which is major. Like that's, most people just like try a class and then
especially the first, like your first go at it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what was cool was that this teacher, it wasn't just one style of yoga. We went through like all these different types of yoga, which was awesome. So it's like I really got a full taste of all the different things. And what kind of sprouted out of that, because she was like, oh, part of the final was like creating a sequence of movement to a song. So of course I made this sequence of movement to fucking Tool. And she's like, who are you? You know? And I was like, hi, I'm going to lead my group, you know? So I had all these like kids basically, and I'm like, okay guys, this is what we're doing.
Yes, girl. So
10,000 Days had just come out. It was a really special time.
You're so fucking mad.
And then that just spurned into the whole like, here we go. Dance career basically started to happen. So I started to take dance classes after that. And then after, it just was this mushrooming effect of like finding these different movement modalities and realizing how healing they were for me.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you essentially healed your body through movement.
Yes. What a thought. Oh my God. Yeah.
And you know, honestly, as someone who, like, you're my absolute favorite yoga instructor, which is such a weird, it's like, I'll just keep it simple. No, that's hard for me. You know, but if someone was to like watch your videos performing or has taken one of your classes, it's like your movement is absolutely healing. Like I go to you and I literally go into your class knowing that when I leave your class, I'm going to have gained this, like, a deep fucking breath to every cell of my being. That's what it feels like to me. It's like maybe an orgasm too.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Both.
I mean, I like all of that.
I mean,
Rox.
it all works, you know?
Yes.
But it's so true. And it's like and so, yeah, this, to me, someone who has my own kind of experience with you in your life, you being this person and witnessing you at the same time, I mean, I feel like it's very safe to say that this is a calling. Like, your path feels like you moving in that direction. It feels like a calling because you do it so, like, it's innate, you know?
Yeah.
That's what it feels like to me.
I agree with you 100%. And there were some years in there where, of course, like, I was doing work that didn't speak to me, but there was always this kind of backdrop of, like, movement, and it took a lot of courage. And it was more than a couple now. Wow. It is 2019, everybody, if you didn't realize.
So weird.
Several years ago now that I was like, I'm going to try to make this my like livelihood. Like I'm going to try to support myself with this. And it was such a gamble and it was such a struggle in the beginning.
I want to talk about that for a second because that's huge. How many people I'm sure right now listening to this are like, this is not my career. This is not my job. This is not my calling or who I... And maybe they have an idea of what is, or, you know, but they're afraid to take the leap. Or maybe they don't even have an idea. They just know, like, this feel
isn't
good.
It? Yeah.
Why, like, let's break this up really quick. But, like, what made you think that you could? And I word it very consciously that way. What made you think that you could depart from this whatever you were doing, which was maybe stable and, you know, kind of easy to explain to people when they ask you, what do you do? You're like, I do this, right? And depart from that to go into this other area where there's more uncertainty. And
I guess something that's developed over time, especially over these past 12 years, is, and I hate to sound so granola about this, but it's really true, is just this trust that the universe is going to put something in my path when I'm ready for it. Exactly when I'm ready for it.
I love it.
And when there is resistance, and we've already talked about this, when there is resistance present, there's something going on that needs to get changed. If you feel like you are swimming upstream, stop what the fuck you're doing.
Truly.
Like, truly. And that's so scary for people.
Yeah.
And oh my God, like I feel like I talk to people all the time that they come to class. That 1 hour is like their only hour where they really feel like this is it. And that doesn't mean everybody stop what you're doing, quit your job, become a yoga instructor. No, there's enough already in Los Angeles. Stop. But like, oh, there is something else out there. And I think what happens is we get a little bit stuck on money value or face value or how something sounds in a conversation. And that's our hang up.
Also, like what people will think, I think is huge, right?
Yes. That's why when people ask what I do, yes, I'm a yoga instructor for sure. I'm a teacher. But like, it's more than that.
I feel like you're a yoga artist. You know,
sometimes I think I'm an exorcist.
Girl, sometimes the makeup, it can,
fuck,
it's appropriate.
I know. Like,
I fucking love it.
People bring some shit into the room and I'm like, whoa. And they take it out on us for sure.
Oh,
and so you got to kind of have a certain skin on you. I know maybe for you it's like, what? Like, what? But for real, some people come in and it's my fault.
Amazing.
It's my fault.
Wow.
But like, I've been that person that's like the next reasonable target for the reason why I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's their fault. Which maybe I just pointed out the fact that you're swimming upstream, bitch. Right. And like, it's, you know, and it's time to change something. And if anything, being a seed planter is totally fine for me. Like, I even said this in yoga class today, like, maybe we don't move mountains, guys. Yeah. Maybe it's just one little fucking pebble at a time. Like, and that's still a success.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that. First of all, we don't get miles without inches. Mm-hmm. And everyone's always like, and listen, I'm addicted to progress. I want the miles too. But I think one of the greatest things I have on my side is like, I understand that it's inch by inch. Life is inch by inch.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. And also one thing that I want to kind of take us back, but point out in that backspace is that when you discovered yoga, your love for yoga, and then the dance, it's really like, I think it was not just yoga. It was like you were, again, like being kind of summoned towards this artistry of movement. And that really, you know, it makes so much more sense even like because yes, you are a yoga teacher, a yoga artist, all the ways we can, you know, describe it, but performing is a huge part of your life.
Yeah. You know, it's funny you say that because I just recently, we watched the video together today, but I just recently did a performance this last weekend, and it was finally like a piece that I feel really proud of because it's moving the way I want to move as opposed to moving the way I think people want me to move.
That's epic.
Yeah, and I know maybe it sounds crazy because I've been doing it for so long, but there's always been that, like, whether I'm underneath a dance director where it's like, okay, this is my choreography, you do my choreography. And I think that kind of locked me up a little bit for a couple years after I left that dance company because I had a hard time finding sovereignty. I had a hard time finding my own voice and my own movement because there's this kind of echo, a little bit of sourness with the leaving of it. And I'm not going to sugarcoat that shit. It was sour. Like there was difficulty in doing that because I was with them for 9 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So when you back to the yoga, and then you discovered dance, and now you're how did you say, mushroom?
Yeah, the mushrooming process.
Did you go into that?
Yeah.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So like right before I left that dance company was when I started teaching yoga. It started really kind of taking over. Before that, I was writing copy, so I was a writer.
That was your kind of full-time
That was
job?
kind of the safe, thing that really aided in this transition. And there was this point where that company that I worked for, they just got liquidated, dissolved. And so I'll never forget, I was driving up to my grandfather's funeral. My current roommate was like, hey, I'm moving in with my boyfriend. I'm out of here. And then my job was like, hey, go fuck yourself. And I cried for about 30 minutes. And then I was like, oh yeah, Trace, reminder, everything's going on for a reason. Yeah. And you've been training for this. This is something me and my boyfriend say to each other all the time. We're like, I've been training for you, or I've been training for this. I'm ready for this shit. That's why it's here.
That you say that.
That's why
it's here.
It.
Like that goes straight to my heart, because I like put, life is my sport. When people ask, what are you training for?
I love
I'm
that.
fucking training for my life, man. Like, because when you think about it, right? Like everyone's life is different. My adventure cold life means agility, endurance, stillness, flexibility, like strength, all will be required at one point, several points throughout my life. So I train for that shit.
100%.
I fucking love that you said that. I want to squeeze you. Okay.
And in that way of like, okay, people could take that in a body way, but I think when we move, it is like a prayer, a manifestation, a way that we bring that not only into the body, but into mind and spirit. So like, let's go, you guys.
That pause is because I truly want to drop the microphone right now. Like, I just did. God damn way to put a bow on it. It's so true. It's so beautiful. All right, you bad bitch. Okay, keep going. Sorry. With my popcorn, people.
I know. So all of that goes down. I exit the dance company. There was a little bit of a bump in that exit. I guess maybe there were some things that maybe I did not communicate clear enough. And something that I like to say anytime I'm in a way where I'm speaking about myself is that it's not like I gave up drugs and alcohol and then like it was all rainbows and fucking smiling babies and
Cupcakes.
Orgasms. Yeah, no. Yeah. This has been an up and down, knock down, drag out learning situation. It is in session, and I hope you studied, because like here it is. Like, holy shit. Learning how to communicate clearly with adults is an amazing skill. And I think all my biggest struggles I've overcome is how to be so clear and succinct on who I am, what I'm doing, and what I intend to do with everybody around me.
That's powerful. It means you have to be so aware.
So aware.
And when you think about it, I mean, I put this out there a lot, and I think that most people operate on autopilot.
Yeah.
It's easy. It could feel safer. It's essentially like more comfortable, right? It's like numbing.
Yeah.
But actually, when you are living with more awareness, I feel like not only is life more, is it richer, but I think it's way more rewarding. I feel like you can actually feel, and maybe some people don't want this part, but even pain, it's like, that is a privilege.
Yeah.
Because you're fucking alive, and guess what? That shit ain't going on forever.
Mm-hmm. No, I know.
Like, reverse engineer the shit.
I know.
We're gone one day.
Guess what? I have something soothing to tell you. Everybody's gonna die.
I mean,
no matter who you are. And to tie all of that awareness into like what I'm doing is like, when you come into a class, and again, this is a lifetime practice. This is not just like you graduate after 30 days and you get a gold sticker for doing yoga. Like
on your butt.
On your butt. I'm going to put it on your butt. Is that when you suddenly, and there's no timeline on when this happens. The shift happens and you become acutely aware of your body in space. I believe it's called proprioception is like the technical term for it. And you start realizing like, okay, when I move this way, this exact muscle is activating and this other muscle is resting. And when you start to learn yourself on that level, it unlocks everything else. So that when you go out there and you leave that fucking yoga studio that you pay to come to,
Yeah.
like you suddenly realize like when I say this in this way, it creates a response like this. So how can I shift the way I'm speaking to people so that I am understood? I swear,
phenomenal.
little things like that start to happen, or at least happened for me. And I think that's a direct result of dropping into that practice, trusting it enough to want to teach it even because I really felt the impact.
Yeah.
And again, I don't want to make promises to people, but I can only speak from my own experience.
Yeah.
100%.
No, it's beautiful. It's so, it resonates even like with jujitsu and surfing to me because it's not just the thing that you're doing, but it becomes this, it bleeds into, you can find jujitsu in every part of life. You can find surfing in every part of life. Like when something really resonates with you, things like this where I feel, you know, yoga, jujitsu, surfing, 3 things that I love and I've been active in for years now. One element of why I love it so much is because you literally have to be taking mind and body, the one thing that's, you know, it's like it all works together, but you literally have to synchronize them.
Yeah.
Like you have to pull them in together. And when you do that, what are we essentially doing? We're being very present in the moment, which is why when you're done, or one reason why when you're done with any of those 3 things, you just feel renewed. You feel grounded. You feel like, right? It's not the fucking patchouli oil. It's literally and there's a, because yoga is not just an exercise, just FYI. It's been very westernized in exercise. Totally.
But there's I more so like to call it like a blueprint for life. There's philosophies, and one of my favorite philosophies is they talk about, I believe it's pronounced kosas.
Okay.
KOSOS or AS. I'm like the worst unreliable tour guide of yoga sometimes.
You're perfect to me.
I don't like to pretend like I know friggin' everything, okay? And so this is basically that there are layers to us as individuals. The first layer is your body. And they like to think of it as like dirty window panes. So first, you polish what's on the outside. You do that with the movement, right? So once you get that polishing of that first level, you see that other dirty window pane behind it. You go deeper. You keep cleaning and cleaning and cleaning, and then the light that is inside finally shows through.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And I love that shit.
That's beautiful.
Because so much of, I think, some westernized spiritual ideas are about working from the inside out. But I think some people can't even see what the inside really is. Like, they really don't fucking know.
You're so fucking on point right now with that. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
They think their problem is their husband,
Right.
their job, their kids, or whatever. I don't know. That's just what I assume they think their problems are. The fact that they have a mortgage that they're trying to keep up with. But that's all so superficial.
Well, it's like, you're looking at circumstance rather than looking at, you know, who you are in the circumstance or how you're responding to the circumstance, how you're perceiving it. And
your part in it.
Totally.
Like, you signed up for this.
Right. You're playing into it in some way, or whether you realize it or like it or not, you are. And if you don't like it, then what can you do? Right? How can you participate differently?
Yeah.
Right.
Step 1, deflate your ego. Great. Like, have somebody pop that shit for you.
Oh,
that's
man.
like that's the thing. I feel like that's what saved me, honestly.
Really?
Is being around people that have not been afraid to tell me what's really going on.
Okay.
Yeah, I think all the realest people I know are men, women, non-binaries.
Yeah.
I have some friends now where they are they and they're not he or she. So, all
Yes.
people is they have somebody that is going to tell them what it really is like and what they see with an attitude of love, of course. But how hard to be able to really digest chunks of truth about yourself, right? Where you're like, okay. And I think a lot of people don't want to do that because they think that that's weakness. Something taught them a long time ago that being that honest and seeing those pieces of yourself is weak.
Sure.
When really it's the strongest thing you can do.
Well, it's also, I think another way too is like it's scary. And so on the flip, it's the bravest thing you can do.
Right.
Right. And so I had an amazing guest, a friend, Logan Gelberg. He was a few episodes back, and we, in our 2.5 hour ridiculously amazing conversation, there was one piece that was just, I can summarize it really quick because it ties into this so perfect, but it's like high performance conversations. So taking the idea of like any of your favorite sports teams and imagining like what the locker room talk is like. They're not in there like, God, he does it so much better than me, but I'm like, Tracy, so if you would just take that ball and just run down the, field a little bit. They don't fucking talk. They're like, Tracy, what do you do? You got to get that ball. You got to run. They have to beeline to the truth is how he puts it.
Oh,
and
I
it's
love
like,
that.
It's so perfect. And I was like, God, what I love about that too is like, can you imagine if, just everyday interactions, like, or maybe not everyday interactions, but just like relationships, especially if people were brave enough to beeline to the truth. Consider it, of course, like you said, it comes from love. But to me, real love, real reverence is for yourself, for others, is when you are willing to feel uncomfortable, even make somebody that you care for uncomfortable, but offer that truth. Right. Because that's what's going to fucking make us better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's something that's built into our linguistics even sometimes. There's some really awesome books read that I have read before that speak on styles in which we communicate and how when I say something like, hey, Roxanne, when you did this, you made me feel this. So it's your fault just by the way that I'm saying it.
Totally. I felt a finger pointing at me the whole time.
Right. Roxanne, you made me feel uncomfortable. Whoa. It's like, oh my God. Okay. Like, how did I do that?
Yeah.
Instead, I can phrase things to people that are like, hey, when this happened, I felt this way. Was that your intention to do something like that? Or did I perceive it as something else? There's a nonviolent way to communicate with people. And absolutely. I also like that way of like the locker room talk, just being really direct.
Yeah.
And I think, again, kind of circling us back to where that transition happened, where I was like, maybe I can do this for a living. It was a lot of people being very direct with me in ways I could improve, which is hard for me because I'm like a person that wants to please. And so when I hear something like, when you said this in this way, it wasn't clear enough, or that's not actually how you say this, or whatever, it was really difficult. And I kind of took it to heart a lot as opposed to taking it as an opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
So I think just repetitive exposure to talking like that, that positive feedback.
Yeah.
What were we talking about earlier where we were...
How essential feedback is, because we can't grow without it. We don't know where we are if if we're not receiving feedback.
Right.
So, but obviously the best feedback is the honest feedback. And that goes back to what you were saying. You had people in your life at that moment who were essentially like keeping it very real with you. And delivering this feedback from a very authentic place.
Yeah, 100%. And it's kind of formed me in this really fantastic way. I always like to have somebody in my life that I know is ahead of the game. Like I never want to feel like I'm truly only leading the pack. That's an uncomfortable place for me. When I get to that point where I feel like I'm hitting a ceiling, I fucking change everything.
That's amazing.
Or I make a drastic change. When I feel like I've hit a ceiling and I'm comfortable.
Have you been like that your whole life?
Yes.
Do you think that comes from competitive, like your sports, or do you think it was before that? Do you think
100%?
Yeah, is that
yeah.
like connected that dot?
No, for
so
sure.
Interesting. So you're comfortable with being uncomfortable. Is that a good?
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Because the challenges that come from it, you seek, kind of.
Yeah. There is definitely like a fire definitely lights under my ass if there's when there's a task at hand, when there's another level to get to, when there's something more to learn. Usually it's there. It's when I feel like I've exhausted all I can learn from a situation, a person, I am gone. And that's a great thing and also sometimes a painful thing for some people.
Yeah. But it does, I can say this just to soften the pain a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, some people are seasonal, and that's not like it's not a bad or good thing. It's just it's a fact of life, right?
Yeah.
Some people are seasonal, and then it makes it even more amazing to the friends, the people in your life that are the lifers, because essentially it means that there is a constant dance of evolution that is able to be done together. Like,
yes.
Did that make sense?
Yeah. I believe that as humans, we are always meant to grow.
Yeah, I believe so too.
And so that stuckness, that comfort that we were talking about earlier, where people get very stuck in their routine, I think there's something wrong. There's like a disconnect somewhere where people, I mean, I don't know exactly what to say about it, because this is just, you're inspiring me as we go, as we kind of unbox these things. But I believe that there is something else going on underneath all that.
Yeah.
I think there's a belief that they don't have much more to give.
Sure.
Or much more to become.
Or maybe they don't know how and they're afraid, so they stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I have people that I work with that are, it's like they wrap themselves in bubble wrap. And they are incredibly capable. They're incredibly strong, but there is a fear of pain. Like they have touched a fucking stove. They've touched a lot of stoves.
Yeah.
And they would just rather not.
Yeah.
And,
it sucks.
And yeah, it super sucks. So you have to kind of like, hey, come jump into this frozen water with me.
Yeah.
Like you kind of have to jump into things with them so that they feel more comfortable in the discomfort, I guess.
Sure. And you know what? I was just thinking, I'm like, God, a little silver lining in the years that, were harmful in a lot of ways to you. I'm sure that you can look back and go, I fucking survived that. I survived that. And there had to have been a whole lot of discomfort in those years, right? So it's almost like, you've already been through so much challenge and difficulty, even though this is different. Like you seeking to grow yourself and the challenges that come with that aren't the same kind of challenges, but just to point out the fact that, also not only did you survive that, but you decided that it's not like somebody took your hand and said, that's enough.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
You were like, nah, fuck. Like,
no, you have to. There's this really rad book. I think it's by Richard Rohr, but it's called Breathing Underwater. And it talks about having to exhaust your fuel until you realize there's an entire different fuel class.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love that thought of like, that makes so much sense. I mean, just the way we learn, or I think a majority of people learn, we have to scrape our knees.
Sure.
Right? So we can't, like, I think people that bubble wrap their kids create serial killers or something. Like There's something
true.
like your kids have to experience things.
Yes, you have to feel those things. You have to go. I mean, obviously, you do the best you can to guide and protect. But I think every solid parent knows, like, you can only protect so far, and then there usually is, in fact, there is the benefit of, ow, that hurt. Like I was listening to somebody so profound the other day and just explaining how, like, one of, if not the greatest triggers to change, catalyst to make change is pain. It sucks in some ways that, like, you have to kind of bottom out and get to that point. I love how you put it. Fucking so Tracy, scrape your knees. It's like strangely sexy in a way to my mind. But I'm so
Sometimes you got to spend a lot of time on your knees, guys.
You know? Is that why I'm like, somehow it was sexy to me? Fuck, man. No shame. But yeah, it's the truth. And you know, I mean, and I think that, you know, where we potentially become wiser in our lives is when we can recognize, ooh, wait, I feel some non-sexy knee scraping on the path. Let me not maybe take that path, and I kind of just put us way into the fucking weeds right now. But I think it all makes sense, hopefully. If not, I'm sorry, guys.
No, it totally makes sense. And I think energy-wise, everybody has the capacity to make these radical shifts. Like, the same way that I was able to get drugs and alcohol, that same drive, that consistency, that, like, daily, like, I know how I'm going to do this and get that and do this and get that. I've just changed the script.
You transferred the skills.
Yeah.
To fucking something else and something else and something else.
Exactly. So
that's
it's amazing.
Like,
that's how I am now, like the way that I'm able to create a life that I think a lot of people dream of, where it's like, yes, I'm 100% self-sufficient. Yes, I wake up in the morning, sometimes really sore, but I do what I love. I play the music that I want to. I get to work with incredible people all the time. I get to eat food that I want to eat, that my body wants to be nourished with. Like, all of these things that
also, you are advancing, expanding people to be living from a higher state of themselves. Like, you give love and health and good energy to fucking so many people. Like, it's amazing. So it's like you are actually doing all of what you said, but you are also contributing to this thing called life, to this world, which is fucking badass.
Oh my God, I just feel buttered up right now. I've been receiving so many words like that, and I haven't realized how sometimes difficult it is for me to receive words like that, because that's so cool. I mean, that's everything that I want.
Well, you're doing it. I think it's here, and I'm going to drop back into before we hit record, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
I got to tell you something, and I already thought about it, but I'm not going to say it right now because I want to save it for the podcast. So what you're doing is it's natural, Tracy. Like, it's not like this effort of, like, not that would be wrong, but it's like Tracy's just being Tracy.
Yeah.
So now let me tell you what I was going to tell you. Thinking about this conversation that we're going to have earlier, and I'm like, fuck, one of the things I love so much about you, and that I feel like we are very aligned, is you are literally I laugh at that word, just being your fucking true self. Like, every day, listen, I'm sure you're like, you're growing. There's always more layers that you're adding to yourself, which is beautiful, which is and then another reason why, you know, I respect you and I love you so much. But it's like, when I think of you, I'm like, this bitch is just being real. Like, she's authentic. And I got a thing for real people, man. Like, you know, and so it's so, yeah, that's why I was like, we're so, obviously, you know, that.
Yeah. Hi, I'm sitting in your living room. Hi.
Yeah, exactly. Well, real love's real. Like,
yeah,
you know, I love saying it's true though. And so, but what's so dope too, to me, about
Tracy just being Tracy and being fucking true Tracy is the Swiss Army knife. Like, Tracy's a whole lot of things. And, you know, if someone was to look at your Instagram page, for example, they would be like, what? She's a...
Wait a minute.
I'm like looking right now, like, what do you... Yoga instructor? Because, right, like this yoga instructor, so often, stereotype here for a second, it's like patchouli, granola, fucking om, and I'm not trying to put any yoga instructors down. I'm just saying, like, there is this, you know, listen, people can look at me like that. Oh, you do yoga, so you must wear patchouli too. It's like,
I think there's a marketable image that a lot of people will put themselves into for success.
yes.
And that's cool and all. I just can't. I can't. I refuse. I'm already bored talking about it.
You don't even know how. I don't even think you would know how. Like, how do I do that? Yeah. No.
I don't want to do yoga in a bikini on the beach and have somebody take pictures of me.
Meanwhile.
I know. Well, fucking you. I want you to do that. Okay?
There's me. You guys, I have a beautiful, it's Kauai home.
Okay,
look
she's...
at the sunset, sorry.
Yes, it's cotton candy out here.
The sky's glowing right now.
Jesus. Like...
No, but you're right.
But no shade either.
No,
it's just not me.
And that's the beauty, because a lot of people might think, who are yoga instructors, like, ooh, maybe if I did do this marketable appearance thing, that I would have more followers, get more clients, more opportunities. I'm more marketable. And what I fucking can't say, words don't touch the real reverence I have for you, is that you bypass all that shit. You were one of the, in my opinion, and I know anyone who's taking your class, you are one of the best fucking yoga artists, teachers, instructor, whatever out there. And yet you can't fucking put Tracy in a box. Like, and then you're on this stage performing with this fucking blue light and this like super gothy, I don't know, is that the right word? Makeup? Or what do you
I mean, okay, so I just did this performance. We did already talk about this a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm going to have that performance on the website.
Oh my God, that would be so cool.
Where people can see it. Yeah.
So that piece, okay, layers, guys. I've been wanting to do a piece like this forever. I feel like artistically, vision-wise, I've been trying to get to where I got there. And one of my good friends, Dusty, put it so well the other day because I called her. She had, you know, put a little comment on it. And she said, it is so great to finally watch you express your body discoveries in front of everybody. I fucking turned inside out.
That's incredible.
I was like, yes, thank you, because yes, that's what I was trying to do all along. I was having a hard time. I mean, not every stage accommodates that either. Yeah. It's like at some of the events I perform at, I show up and the stage is like wood slats with fucking wood nails sticking out of it. So it's like rolling around barefoot and half naked is gonna, I mean, I would probably do it anyways, but
yeah, you would.
But like I finally got to do this piece. So the spoken word at the beginning of it is by Sylvia Plath and it's called Lady Lazarus. And it's one of my favorite poems. It's so cool. It's just basically, I just love that intro about it. It's about, I mean, it's about so many things, but it's about being very, very human. And sometimes not always agreeing to what the world has thrown in front of you or put in front of you for that matter, or labeled you as. So, and then it goes into this dope song by Sev Deliza, I Am So Hot for This Chick. Her music is just out of control creative.
Yeah, I already Shazammed her ass.
Oh my God. Yeah. Go on a musical journey.
I'm going to. It sounds amazing.
And I mashed those things together. I felt really stuck on the piece, and then suddenly, like a week before this performance, I was like, Lady Lazarus, and this song, and I like smashed it together in GarageBand and sent it off to the woman that's putting together this master track.
Amazing.
And just like went to work, and every day in my house, I was like putting together these movement ideas that I've been doing all along, but I just button them together a little bit. And it was so well received, and women that I really look up to movement wise have been responding to it in a certain way. And I'm really just feeling like,
was it like a breakthrough for you in a way?
It felt very much so like that. And it felt so relaxed and so natural, not contrived. So that's what I'm saying, is that, you know, it's not like everything's been super dreamy from the get-go. It's like we have our little breakthroughs when we have them. And it's not always uniform, and it's not always linear when these things happen. We can't predict them. But I really feel like I found my modality.
Yeah, well, you kept digging for it, it sounds like, too. And I think that's so important. Like, yeah, you might not know when it's going to unfold, when it's going to happen. But as long as you believe, and I think are striving and digging, you know, for that to happen, and just hopefully enjoying the process, even though the process can mean challenge and twists and turns and just cover all that shit. But then when it does happen, it's like the ultimate kind of release.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, watching you perform in that video, it looks absolutely liberating. It's so sensual in the most, like, just, you're just, I mean, again, it's like super, what's the word? Everything just looks so flowy and easy and just natural. Yeah.
I love that. I mean, like, a repeated phrase in that song is, I am human, nothing more than human, over and over. And like,
perfect.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm just feeling all like the after glowy effects of that, and kind of wanting to just weave that into everything right now.
Oh, I can see your eyes right now. The way I say you're so cute.
Yeah.
Well, you will, I'm sure. This is exciting. And to start the year with that feeling, with that breakthrough, has to be so amazing.
Oh, super. Oh, yeah. High level special.
So
feeling good. And I hope this doesn't all feel selfish in a way, but in a way, like, sometimes growth has to be a selfish process. Like, we have to do these. We have to do this for ourselves.
So for those of you who have listened to Logan's episode already, we had a whole bit on, you got to listen to that episode. It's like so good. The concept of being selfish, and he goes into this whole amazing Dave Grohl story, which I'm not going to even try and repeat, but it's essentially like you are doing a disservice to the world when you are not being selfish enough to live from your authentic self, to keep reaching for this highest expression of yourself. That is fucking, because then what are you doing? How are you contributing to, what contribution are you actually making to this world? To yourself first, right? So the word 100%. Selfish is a very interesting word to me. I pick at it. No, I mean, we already kind of touched on this topic too, of like, when you are yourself, you invite others to be themselves too. 100%. I feel like that's, you know, it, what did I, like, okay. That's such a, that weighs in so many thoughts that I lose my words sometimes. Because it's so, especially with social media and, you know, just where things are now, you know, in our lives, I feel like it's so much easier to follow. It seems safer. It seems like, it can even seem like smarter. How funny is that? Like, if I deviate from my truth, if I am, you know, try this or do that, even though it doesn't really feel like me and it's not really, you know, I can go farther or I can get more or whatever. But it's fucking bullshit, you know? I mean.
No, it's so true. I mean, you just brought a whole bunch of ideas up in my head of like things that I do that are unconventional, that have been potentially frowned on by people that followed convention all the way to their fucking grave. You know, like they were just so afraid to color outside the lines that it just fucking killed them.
And so then you come out and you're being your true self, and then maybe you know, it's like, okay, well, the 4 minute
yeah, I can go so deep. I have to be careful. We will end up in the weeds again. But to go back to what you said, it's so true. I feel like a real service to the world, and certainly it will be a more challenging path, is to be living from your most authentic self to the best of your ability and not deviate from it, and understand that, like, even if you can't fully see it, you are inspiring people to fucking do the same thing.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is a contribution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of just like to turn my nose down and grind. And then then like look up and just be like, okay, good, we're all still here. Great. Let's keep going. Like, I feel like that's how I live life. Like, I'm just like, is anybody following along? Or cool, some of you are still into this? Rad. I'm going to keep going.
That's so fucking dope.
It's like a friend of mine told me this little, he gave me this kind of little story that I thought was kind of cool. Life is like being up close to a mural, and sometimes you get pushed back and you see a really big picture.
That's rad.
And then you get real back close again and you start taking in all these different shapes and these colors. And I think that's just what goes on.
Right.
We're just seeing, we're experiencing things little by little, moment by moment, inch by inch, right?
By inch, yeah.
And sometimes we step back and we're like, wow. And that's either a wow, like, I need to change something, or a wow, like, this is great, which are both great things. Totally. It is fantastic to realize that something needs to change.
Yes.
I like to call those waking up moments.
Absolutely.
Where you're like, oh, you didn't realize you were asleep? You're like, whoa, okay. I feel like I've most frequently attuned those to dating circumstances where I'm like, oh, this, ooh. Hey, I'm going to go. This has been nice.
I imagine you.
Oh, my God. Wow.
Wait, let me ask you something that just came to my mind.
Yes.
What is, out of everything that you've lived so far in your beautiful, amazing life, what do you think is the bravest thing that you've ever done?
Oh, my God. It's going to sound like a very broad stroke, but being myself in every avenue of life. And I'll give you a couple reasons why. I thought that, because there was once I attended a training, and it was like a business-oriented training for people in the industry. And they said, clean up your social media. Make sure there's nothing on there that people don't want to see. Oh, wow. And I was like, I got to delete everything. I was like, holy shit. Call Instagram. Just have them shut it down. I even created a different profile. Like, I was losing my shit, really? Roxanne. Yeah, I was like, I'm never going to be successful if I show people what I'm really about.
Yeah. And
then I was like, fuck that shit. If they don't want me, then I'm just going to do something different, you know? And this comes down to everything. I am so fortunate to be surrounded by such incredible people, true artists that I get to interact with. And so some of these things that I had on my social media were paintings that my good friend Zoe Milk had painted of me.
Oh, she's amazing.
Which I'm like stark ass naked. Like the day I was born, all I'm wearing are some Christian Louboutins.
She killed. I want you on my wall, bitch. I'm like, she's amazing.
She's
you look
crazy.
Incredible. Yes.
She's an insane. I've known her since I was in kindergarten.
Oh, really?
Let that just blow
That's
your
amazing.
wig off. Yeah. And I lost contact with her. She came back into my life and was like, please model for me.
Oh,
right?
Wow.
So yeah, a lot of these kind of like modeling picture-y things, at first I was like, well, I gotta just tone that whole thing down. But I was like, but that stuff gives me so much life. And how cool is it that I have friends that kind of want to like immortalize me at this dope time in my life,
yeah,
where I'm just feeling like I want to let my cheeks hang out,
hey,
you know?
They ain't gonna I mean, listen, yes, girl.
And you know what? Like, if you look at things anyways, the way people are marketing themselves, it is a little bit sex-oriented.
A little bit? Yeah, a girl. At least, yeah. No, don't start. I'm going to stop.
Yeah, no, we're not going there. because I could say 10 different things. But yeah, I essentially was like, okay, well, I'm going to have to play it safe. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And ultimately what happened is I felt like I don't want to say kicked because it sounds a little bit violent, but like somebody booted my ass through a door and was like, hey, this is what you're doing now, but yogic wise and movement wise. And I came back to that same like fork in the road. It's like either sound like every fucking buddy else or find my own voice. And so again, there's more people that are like these mentor figures that are like, stop trying to sound like other people. Like, what do you really want to say? I'm like, I kind of want to say fuck, cock, ass. And they're like, okay, well, just find the right moment while you're teaching yoga.
And you always do. It's the best part.
And I'm just so fortunate I have these avenues, because even like all the different styles that I teach, there's all these different places where I can pop in like all those different music styles I love, where I'm like, yes, we're going to do hip hop right now. Yes, we're doing 9 Inch Nails right now. Yes, we're doing, all these different ways that like speak to me and I can implement them. It is the most freeing thing. And it was because I stuck through that uncomfortable moment where I thought I had to dim the fucking light.
My heart, you know what, a lot, so I've expressed this a lot, so people, whatever, it's going to come out like a million more times on the podcast, but I've expressed it so much that, to me, success, one major part of it is being authentic to the core of your being in as many minutes of your life as you possibly can, and still accomplish the things that you really desire for your life.
Yeah. You
do not deviate from your truth in order to gain more, to get there faster, no. You fucking stick to your truth. And that's what you just said. That's what you're doing. So to me, it's like the ultimate sign of success. And it also goes back to what I said about you. It's like, even before you said that, I was like, that's how I receive you, Tracy.
Yeah.
Like that's what you're doing. So, but I love that you just shared that, because again, it's like, there's obviously an ongoing theme here that I think is so important, to hear. It's like, listen, I love you and shit, but it's not like you're fucking superhuman. I certainly am not. We're just two humans.
Yeah.
And if you could be brave to live from your truth and to maneuver through your life like authentically, and if I can be brave, fuck, a lot of other people walking around can also be brave to fucking be themselves. It's a beautiful experience, and I think that it also is the most empowering. Did I just say that like
empowering?
Yes.
I'm gonna baby talk the west of the podcast.
The timing is really saying not word. It's so perfect.
I'm drunk off matcha, so don't hold any of these words against me, Mom.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, no, it's truly the most empowering thing, because if you can be yourself and be comfortable being yourself, no matter who likes it or fucking not, and you're just winning. Like, you're walking around in life and you just feel like, fuck, this is who I am. Take it or leave it. And that builds a spine like no other spine, in my opinion, that we can have in life. Right?
Full 100% agreement.
Yeah.
Dream life.
Dream
life.
Living the dream come true.
And to me, dream life, it's not necessarily measured by money. It is not measured by, it is truly measured by your satisfaction. That soul satisfaction, that like, when I do this thing, I go home feeling better than before when I came to do that thing. That has to be it, right?
Yeah, no, fuck yeah. Do you,
Do you feel like you have a connection with this kind of inner voice? We all have an inner voice. It's not like this some foreign thing, but do you feel like you have, it's kind of a rhetorical question, but I just want you to express on
100%. Yeah.
How do you know the difference? Like, how do you know what?
It's that like resistance thing again. I can just feel when something's not right. And I can just feel when something is.
Yeah.
Like you can just, I feel that almost like something is being lit inside of me.
Yeah.
And that's when I know like I'm meant to be there or I'm meant to be here. And yeah, when it just feels like I'm dragging, like I've got pickaxes in my hands and I'm just like, like that's no. And things, I think when you become open to perceiving those things, the things that are acting as resistance have their own way of just filtering out. I think people that I don't gel with have a way of filtering themselves out of my life. I know some friends that get really stuck on people. And it's like these people are living in their heads and they are not paying rent. And I'm like, why is this person so powerful over you?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Like, I get it because I've been there, but I think there's been, and I want to know what the shift was. I think it's like that same, I don't have time for bullshit. So like, I'm not going to invest in bullshit.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
I'm not going to pay it even any attention or mind. And it's going to just make, that's nature. I think it's very Darwin of me.
Yeah,
it's just going to fucking evolve out, you know?
It's true.
So it's rare. It's rare that I don't associate with people that have a lot of negative energy. I just don't have time, you know, for that. There are people that I help and assist, but my requirement is that they are willing.
Sure. I love it.
Like, be willing. And if you're not willing, like, go get willing somewhere.
Go.
I don't know. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean, like to the core of the meaning of it. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't want to handhold.
No.
But like, I love you. Come on up here too.
Right.
You know, like get up on this level.
Yeah.
And like, just go. The possibilities are endless for so many people.
Totally.
I think just they're in their own way.
Yeah.
And that's what I see a lot because I also teach in mental health. So it's not just like the boutique studio. It's like I go and work with people that do not want to have anything. They don't want to hear what I have to say.
That's got to be so interesting and challenging and wonderful at the same time. It's
so cool. Honestly, I think the method I do is I say all the things that I think that they're saying to me inside of their heads.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So I'm like, hi, yoga dragon lady bitch is here. Or something.
That's dope.
Or I'm like, oh, here's this lady that's trying to hurt me again. Or something.
Wow.
Or they'll be really making a hissy fit. And I was like, do you need attention today?
So good.
I don't know. And I think they're just so like.
You're calling them out. Like, but there's humor in it too.
Of course.
There's always fucking humor with you. It's so great. Well, how long have you been doing that?
Oh, God. 3 years now?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It's fantastic. I love doing it. I want to do more of it.
Okay.
I wish I could, because right now I'm only working with men. I want to work with women. Like, I want to work with women drug addicts, fucking eating disorders. Like, I want to work with women badly. Just right now, the universe is like, guess what? You get to work with men. So I'm like, all right, cool. So maybe I'll manifest
that this year that you're going to be. I'm sure you will. Queen of fucking manifestation.
It would be so cool. But I just figure it'll come along when it's meant to.
Yeah. I mean,
it is.
Totally.
Yeah.
So what's inspiring you right now? Like if I know probably a lot of things, but it's the start of the year. Is there anything that's really like beaming from your heart right now that's inspiring you?
Again, another broad stroke. Love is really inspiring me right now.
I knew you were going to say that.
Love.
I felt it for you and I love
love it.
I feel so in love
Oh, I love that.
with life.
Yes.
With my human, with my family. Yes, it's so incredible. That's totally my theme this year, is like do every single thing with love.
It's beautiful.
And my handle is Tracy Lynn with love. So
so it's so you're living up to that name.
I know.
I love it.
Yeah. But if the title feels off from the content, just know that I'm multifaceted Swiss Army knife.
Well, hello. I mean, if anyone's been listening to this conversation, that's the best part about Tracy. That's the best part. In my opinion, man, it's like, like, fuck, there's like a smorgasbord or buffet. it's like, but everything is eclectic and curated and authentic.
I like that. Curated. We get to choose.
Yes, we do.
Isn't that great? We get to choose. We get to choose who and what is in our life.
Who we want to become. So then that bridges me to the question. If you could offer any advice, one or two things, to someone listening who's like, well, fuck, man, I want to live for my most authentic self. I want to do that brave act and be like, maybe take a leap towards something that feels like a calling or something I really want to do, or, just kind of backtracking through your life and those forks in the road and how you did it. What could you offer someone in support in those same places?
A lot of things. I like to tell people a lot to saturate themselves with things that inspire them. So whether that's art they like to look at, music they like to listen to, what they like to wear. I feel like that's kind of the journey, is like picking the soundtrack to your life, picking the skin, like picking everything about that. And I feel like everything follows suit. So like if there's an energy, and this, like as a person that's a mover, it's like when you go to the gym and you're there to tear some shit up, which I watch on your stories all the time, and I see what music you're listening to, I was like, I can tell what kind of mood Roxanne is in today.
Right.
Same thing. It's like I choose what I dance to. I choose what music I play in the classroom, which all the time I'm like, guys, don't call HR, okay? This is just the mood I'm in today.
It's so good.
But yeah, saturate yourself with, it's almost like a vision board, but multi-sensory.
It's beautiful.
Right?
Yeah.
So not just something to look at, but like, ooh, a feeling, a sound.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Because it gives you an experience, right?
Yeah.
That's so perfect.
Yeah. And anytime I'm working with somebody new, also, like if I'm working with people that are new to any kind of journey, if they're not active in their body in some way, I require them to be so. Oh. I ask of them, in order for me to help you, I need you to move in a way that speaks to you. Whether that's skateboarding, whether that's surfing, jiu-jitsu, yoga, I don't know, running on the sand, like dancing, whatever it is,
whatever.
Find it and explore it. Yeah.
It's I love I love that. Mm-hmm. It's original medicine. Yeah. We're designed to fucking move.
100%. The chemicals that are released naturally in our bodies from movement. Yeah. It is like, hi, do you even really, and I'm not downing anybody on medication that they take, but the chemicals that are released are almost an equal to an antidepressant, anti-anxiety.
It's an actual science, like it's backed by science.
It's backed by science.
I just saw it the other day. Somebody put up a post, not somebody in the wellness space. It's an expert. Mm-hmm. Exercise is the greatest antidepressant. Yeah. It makes sense, man. We're supposed to fucking move. And unfortunately in society, where we are now, the way we're living, sitting, all that stuff, it's like, we don't get to be as primal as we should be for optimal health, just to feel good. So that's beautiful. That is like a requirement that you put. I want to ask you, and this might be hard or not, I don't know, but if you had one kind of universal tip to anybody in wherever they are in their practice of yoga, beginner, middle,
expert. Like if there's one thing that maybe it's not even a tip, maybe it's just a seed because you like planting seeds. Mm-hmm. What would that be?
Stop thinking about the end game.
I love it. It was like hanging off the end of your tongue right now. That's so brilliant.
There's no end game. Yeah.
Layers, bitches.
I mean, here's what I see the most when people come in. When am I going to be able to do this? That could be any number of things.
Sure.
When am I going to be able to handstand? When am I going to be able to do this? When am I going to lose fucking 15 pounds from this shit? When am I, there's all these things that I think people attach to it. It's really cute. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, my favorite thing to say to people is, I don't know.
It's so honest.
Like, I don't know. That's really up to you. How much you want to work on it. So, and I like to explain this even to people that are like really wanting to get handstands. I'm like, well, then learn all the mechanics of it. Open your fucking hamstrings. Work on the flexion of your wrists. Let's work on your core for a year to 5 years straight. Let's get your low belly actually activated. Do you know how to even squeeze Kegel muscles? How are your inner thighs doing? Like, there's so many different things. There's layers to everything where it's like, once I stopped thinking about end games and just worked all the different pieces of things, then things started happening. Not like that was the original intention. Like, I just want to be able to get down to the ground and get back up again without using my hands when I'm like 65, 70 years old. I think that would be a great overall unifying piece, is to just remain mobile as long as possible.
Yeah.
Because that kind of takes the pressure off, because eventually I'm going to die and I'm not going to be able to move at all. But,
yeah.
But yeah, it's
you
like,
might move after death out of all fucking people.
I did say sometimes.
I could see fucking Tracy in Thriller.
They're like, shit, she's not done after all. I want to be that grandmother where they're like, she just keeps on living. Like, I want to be the cockroach grandmother. Yeah. Where they're like, nothing kills her. And look at her.
I love it.
She's still doing what? Grandma, have a seat, please. We're trying to have dinner.
Get off the table.
Yeah, what are you doing? That's my goal. So I guess end game.
So good.
just enjoy process. Yes. Enjoy the process more than the destination. Goal making is a fantastic thing, but enjoy the ride. Like, enjoy all the little ins and outs of all the magical things it takes to make you what you are.
Damn, girl. Cheers to that. Look, they can't see him like this. With my the hair flip, you guys. Yeah. That's my version of cheers.
She hair flips every time she's absorbed something on a deeper level.
It's so good. It's so good. It's so timely. Start of the year. It's, I mean, it's always, I think, timely, really. But, everyone starts the year with like goal, which is beautiful. I love goals. I love measurable goals. I love progress. But there is a constant theme that I put out there, and that is the process is the fucking reward. And I don't care how cliche it sounds. It is the absolute truth. And when we become in love with the nuances of the process, we are actually living a more wealthy experience, right? Because we all know we get to the goal and we're already looking at the fucking next. So then where really is the pleasure and the experience? It's like, it's in the, like you said, I mean, I'm thinking about a handstand of some, like, can you, I'll imagine me, like, if I, if I wanted that to be a goal, right, and I start focusing on the mechanics and like, how rad would that be when I finally get to that place where I could just get both my legs, I don't know, I don't even know how to describe what I'm trying to say, but like, basically, like, where there's progress in the inches of the mechanics, right? Like, that will feel so rewarding.
And it's so cool. Yeah. It's so cool when things unlock inside of you,
Yes.
Like, that's the coolest thing, is they just kind of happen on their own. Yeah. And we're just witnessing it, right?
I love it.
That's how I feel. Like, if I had to just describe my spiritual process, it's sitting in the back seat and reminding myself that I am not in control. And that's where I'm the happiest, is when my hands are off the wheel. 100%. Like when I'm just like, all right, where are we going? I'm coming along for the ride. Like, because again, the goal-oriented stuff, awesome. But like, it's so dope when life unfolds in front of you.
It's so beautiful the way you said it. And it makes me think this. I just recently put out, the word goal is very interesting. I prefer vision. So like, I was just imagining Tracy in this vehicle and you're in the back seat and you're like hands off the wheel. Now, yeah, you're like, maybe you're not in control, but it doesn't mean you don't have a vision. You have a vision, and that's beautiful. So even if the vision's a handstand, if the vision's the mansion, if the vision's the career, have a fucking vision.
Yeah.
I prefer that over goal. It just, even the word is like sexier. Vision.
No. Goal is boxy.
Goal is boxy.
It's so boxy.
Vision just is. I don't know the word I'm looking
it's
for.
Gooey. It's like
it is. It's sexy.
It's super sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into that. And visions are broad, so I like that.
Yes. All right, woman. Well, is there anything that you have not expressed that you would like to put out there and leave our listeners with? No pressure. And I do have one more thing to ask you after you answer that, and then I'm gonna.
I love you.
I love you.
That's like all I have to say, is that this is just such a pleasure to do this. Because this is part of it, is just communicate in all the different ways. Be heard, be seen, and hear others and see them.
I see you.
I see you.
Okay, so the last thing that I'm going to ask you to leave our listeners with is, because Black Belt Beauty is all about, reaching for this highest expression of yourself and be living from that expression in your life. Ooh, sirens. Do you have a vision at this stage of your life? I'm sure it's going to continue to evolve, but what that highest expression of Tracy looks, feels like, and what is one thing that you do every single day to keep yourself on that path to her?
Wow.
I know, I'm an asshole right now.
Super mega asshole. That's so cool. I guess I can kind of link that back to that backseat approach. I think I am exactly where I am meant to be in this very moment. I think that ultimately where I am going is going to be bigger and more expansive in a way that I can't even imagine. Because if you were to tell me 12 years ago and paint this picture, I would have been like, bullshit. Seriously, I would have been like, there's no way. So what is there to say that another 12 years down the road that painting could be even more intricate and detailed and, oh my God. Almost like the resin coating will never be on because it's never done.
Yes.
It's always expanding. So I guess the thing that I do on a daily basis, not to like shoot this dead horse or anything, is to just keep being myself, keep moving in the way I want to be moved, and try to love everyone the same way that I would want to be loved. And that's going to ultimately unfold whatever that big picture is.
You're a fucking diamond. I love you.
I love you, honey.
Thank you so much. Will you leave? I know you dropped it, and I'm going to, you mentioned it. You sprinkled your Instagram name, but can you just, where they can follow you? All of it will be on the show notes. But if you could just put it out there.
Yeah, that'd be great. My Instagram handle, which I think is kind of the best way to view all the things, is Tracy Lynn with Love, TracyLynnWithlove.
Yay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you guys, obviously, you know what to do. You're already doing it. Don't try and pretend like you're not on her Instagram right now, scrolling, taking in all that goodness. Yeah, you guys, thank you so much for listening, spending your time here with us. I love you so much.
to be continued. No resin on this shit. And all right, we're out. Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode, you guys. If you loved it, please share it on your social. Throw it up on your Instagram stories and tag me. I'm at Black Belt Beauty. I am also at Roxy Look, RoxyLook. I love connecting with you guys. This is a conversation that I want to just continue growing with you guys. So if you feel inspired to hit me up, do so in that space. I always enjoy hearing from you. If you'd like to support this podcast, you can do so by rating it and reviewing it via iTunes. It's such supportive help, you guys. It really helps the visibility of this podcast. So I appreciate and thank you in advance for doing that. And last but not least, if you are interested in starting your own podcast, or perhaps you already have one and you need help with, editing your audio and the production of it, I cannot recommend my producers enough. Resonate Recordings, you guys, they are the bomb. I rely on them. They are an absolute supportive tool to me and my podcast. So check them out and let them know that Black Belt Beauty sent you. And on that note, you guys, I'm signing off with all my love and always looking forward to catching you on the next.